Welcome to Stoughton Media Access Cable's Community Forum Show. My name is Steve Kelly. I'll be your host today, and I have the pleasure of bringing you Mark Levine. So Mark is here to share some great information about fundraisers that you do or that you help engineer with high schools, putting contests and things like that.
Correct.
So open this up for us a little, Mark. What is it that you're trying to accomplish on behalf of the Jimmy Fund?
Basically, the event that we have is called Putting for Patients. It's a miniature golf event, and the reason I started it was I've been on the Jimmy Fund Council for many years, and I was looking for something other than your standard fundraisers, which are wonderful, but they generally involve adults and big type money. And I noticed that there wasn't much going on in high schools. So I thought it would be fun and important to get high school students involved in the Jimmy Fund. So I met a man named Neil Polico, who owns Leaderboard of Boston, and he provides an 18-hole miniature golf course for different fundraisers. So we had a meeting, and I said, boy, that sounds like something I'd like to do with high schools. Yep. And that's really how it started. We started it in 2013 at Medfield High School, and since then we've had 33 Putting for Patients events, and we're about to have our 34th next Saturday in Stoughton, and that's why I'm here.
Well, we're going to run this show for you right away. So I like the idea because rain or shine, you set it up in the gymnasium or wherever that you have a nice interior place, and you're going to get young people at really like at an age interested in something that's good for everyone.
Exactly. Right? The reason one of the reasons why we started the event is obviously to raise money for pediatric cancer care, and this is what this is all about, is trying to help these kids, I always say, that have an illness that they do not want and do not deserve. So we raise money for that, and we want to get kids involved in something other than, your normal, everyday activities, which of course are very important. But, I run these events with the student council. Nice. So what happens is many times these student council people in their later life will become leaders, and what I'm hoping is they'll take their experience from the Jimmy Fund and want to continue it, see what the importance of it is, and down the road when they have their own families and their own careers and they're established, they'll be able to continue the contribution to the Jimmy Fund, which we really need.
What about the specifics of this Saturday, for instance? Is it at a certain time, place? What can you tell us?
The event is at the O'Donnell Middle School on a week from Saturday, on October 28th from 12 to 3. Okay. What we do is we bring in the 18-hole miniature golf course to the gymnasium, and we also have a 50-foot putting contest. We have opportunity drawing for different prizes. We have prizes for the golf winners, both individual and team. We have a caricaturist, which is very popular. We have food, and we have face painting. So it's, really an event for not just golf, but a lot of different activities. It's a lot of fun, and anyone from, 4 or 5 years old on up loves to play miniature golf and can come for $10 and enjoy every activity that we have.
Yeah, and it's really good for family. I mean, when you bring the kids, I've got grandkids, so I think I might try to bring them down there, and we'll do the face painting, and then we play putt-putt occasionally. Yep. And the little boy, my 4-year-old grandson, he just loves putt-putt. Right. So this sounds like that would be a great family adventure for us.
It is, and I'll tell you something, whenever I go to these events, the biggest thrill I have is seeing families walk in, particularly with the younger kids. It's a tremendous event, obviously, for high school kids, but it's, we really try to market it as well to the elementary schools, middle schools, and, families in the area.
So you start with the high school, go to the high school, get the senior council at the high school, and then they run the program for you.
That's exactly right.
What about other high schools? Have you done it in Easton yet?
I've tried. I haven't done it. We've had 33 events, and we've done it in 20 different high schools.
So you want to start to draw in as many more high schools as you can.
That's exactly right.
So we'll give a shout out to those wonderful Easton. I have grandchildren in the Easton schools, so we're going to say, come on, see if we can get that going in Easton as well.
I've actually tried a number of times to talk to Oliver Ames. It hasn't worked yet, but that doesn't mean it won't.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they're not against it. I mean, it's just a matter of trying to coordinate when you have a big schedule of kids and stuff.
Exactly, but a lot of the schools, like this is Stoughton's second one, we've had a number of the schools that have had it 3 or 4 times. So the first year is kind of a tryout. No one really knows what to expect, with the attendance and that type of thing. And then they run it once, and many times they've enjoyed it and they want to do it again. And this is, the goal is to, of course, continue with the schools that we have, but obviously, try to find new schools. And, give everyone an opportunity to, to see the event and to experience something which, it's unique because it's a golf event, but it's more than that, and it's indoors, so you don't have to generally, as you said, worry about the weather.
Great. So I'm going to give a shout to the people helping us in the background. We got Roy Cohen on the executive station back there. Roy, do you have some photos that you could bring up for us? That'd be great. While I ask Mark, how did you get involved, Mark? I mean, and maybe you could explain. So here's one of our little photos. It says, "Play mini golf."
That's a Jimmy Fun logo.
A Jimmy Fun logo, okay.
And if you think that I could create, now that event, we had a kickoff event last December with 5 different schools. They came to the Dana-Farber through Jimmy Fun Golf, and most of the proceeds that we raise go to a doctor by the name of Allison O'Neill. Allison O'Neill is one of the leading and most well-respected pediatric oncologists at Dana-Farber. She's an instructor at Harvard Medical School. Mm-hmm. She works on solid tumors. She does a lot of research.
Can you see the photo that we had that the audience is looking at? I don't know if you can see it behind the camera. I wonder if you could point her out. But
actually, I could point her up, but I don't think she's there.
Ah, okay.
But she actually spoke and left, but she gave it like a 15-minute speech.
And here's another one with you guys at Fenway Park.
Actually, it's funny. I thought it was at Fenway Park too, and it's really not. It's actually at the Dana-Farber, but they have a Fenway Park background.
A replica.
but we had a tour, and we had about 25 kids, and they came and they listened to the people at the Jimmy Fund speak. They listened to Dr. O'Neill, and once you go to the Jimmy Fund, once you go to, not the Jimmy Fund, but once you go to Dana-Farber, you really get even more of a feel, for what we're trying to accomplish here. And the money that goes to Dr. O'Neill, it's not like just going to the Jimmy Fund, which is wonderful, but going to Dr. O'Neill, she's able to take it and do her research on solid tumors, on different type of things which are directly helping these kids, to hopefully lead much longer, much healthier, and much more productive lives than they wouldn't if we didn't have, these type of events and awareness.
So most people that I interview, they have a connection to a cause. What's your connection to this cause?
I don't really have a specific connection. I was looking for something. I was involved in different things when my, children who went to Stoughton schools were growing up. I coached and was in the PTO and that type of thing. Right. But I've always kind of been interested in what the Jimmy Fund did. So I just decided to join the council one day. And the reason I did was because they said that after 1 year, I would be allowed to go visit the kids at Children's Hospital in the oncology ward. So that's really why I joined, which is what I've been doing now. I do it for a couple of times a month. I've been doing it for a number of years. But they also had fundraisers, so that's how I joined, and I just said, I just took it from there. There wasn't a specific thing, except knock on wood, I've been fortunate. My children grew up healthy, and just trying to maybe give back, and I think it's important to do that.
It definitely is important, and I'm glad you own a small business also.
I do.
I think you do pallets.
Yes, I'm a pallet broker.
Yeah,
but, I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
and. But quite honestly, I'm spending an awful lot of time on these events, as gives me an awful lot of satisfaction.
It's sort of the prototypical what I think society wants out of business people. You make your business, right, and then as you move forward in your business, you try to find ways to give back.
Right.
And this sounds like a perfect way to give back.
Yeah, I think it is, and I've seen so many of the students have really enjoyed it, and some of them I've actually seen want to go and visit an oncologist. I had one student at one of the high schools I did shadow Allison O'Neill for a day,
right.
And perhaps try to get summer internships at Dana-Farber or at the Jimmy Fund. So it does make a big impact, I think.
Take us back to the very first one. Which high school was it?
Medfield High School.
It Medfield, yeah.
I decided to do the event. Or to try to do it. I had no idea what was going to happen. And I took a bunch of letters, and I went to all the schools in the area, dropped off, said who I was, what I wanted to do, et cetera. I get absolutely no response. And then one day, a senior, was going to be a senior by the name of Blake Brown, who was the student council president at Medfield High School, contacted me and said we want to do the event. This was in December of 2012, so we set it up for 2013 in April. And I said, this is great. I had no idea really what I was doing, except I had the concept. So I knew what I wanted to do. I knew we had to do the fundraising because it costs money to bring the course in. And I said, but you have to, help me along here. First thing you have to do is name the event. And he and Medfield High School named it Putting for Patients. I would never have thought of it. So I think it's a great name. And,
Right.
and that was my first event. And we did, I think we just did that one in the spring, and then we did 2 or 3 in the fall, different high schools. And I started to get my feet wet in it. And then Medfield came back, and we were able to get other schools. And last year we had, I think, 12 or 13 events in the academic year. And I think we have 5 this fall, including next Saturday in Stoughton, and another 7 or 8, I think, for the spring. So it's, catching on a little bit.
Tell the audience about your website, because I did know,
Yep.
I did go on and look, and I saw that there were thousands and thousands of dollars of contributions already done.
We've had 33 events. The last one we did, the figure's not up, but we've raised a little bit under a little over $111,000
Wow.
in proceeds, which is nice. And
It's more than nice, it's incredible.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a gift to the community, from the community,
Right.
to the community, to cancer patients, children especially. I mean, this is great work you're doing.
well, thank you. The website is www.puttingforpatients. That's the number 4.com. The Jimmy Fund was the one that they
And there we have it
there
on
it is,
screen.
right there.
Thank you, Roy.
And they were the Jimmy Fund Jimmy Fund Golf created it for me. And it's a really nice website. It shows, the different events of different people, all sorts of different things to look at to really get a sense of what the event's about.
And if they call the number that was on screen, they get
That's
you?
me.
All right.
And anybody can call me at any time. I'm always glad to talk about the Jimmy Fund. I can talk about it forever. So
Okay. And what you do is like you'll coach them up to like what they can do, how they can do it.
we have a partnership, I'd say. This is the way I call it. My job, first of all, is to organize it and get the students. It's the students' job to advertise the event in the community, in the schools, to try to go in and talk to the elementary schools, talk to the principals, get the word out in the schools. That's their job.
So it's sort of a leadership task.
It is, and this is why it's important. It's important that they run the event. They don't need me to run the event. I say, look, you have to price the event. You have to make signs for the event. I want you to run the event. I'm here, obviously, to support you, to go over the things that we have to do. And my job is to go into the communities that we have the event and get sponsors, because it costs a few $1,000s to bring the course in. So we need to my job is to at least cover the cost of the course, and hopefully make a profit before we start. And it's also my job we have opportunity drawing and prizes. So I go into the community and try to get, donations, gift certificates, things of that nature. And, so that's working together is the way we try to do it. And, it's worked well.
Yes, I can just envision it. So if a community wants to do this, right, they'll contact you.
Correct.
You'll make an order. Once it's organized, you'll make an order, and they bring these putting greens in by truck,
Yep.
and do the students offload them, or do they?
They
How
offload
is it
the
done?
Leaderboard of Boston, or Metro Mini Links as they're also called. They unload it. We usually have 10 student volunteers that come set up the course.
Okay.
And then, of course, they set up their other things. We have, table for the opportunity drawing items, table for food. We have a caricaturist table. So all that, they set everything up in the gym.
And do you hire the caricaturists?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
We have a
okay.
caricaturist. It's done by Fun Enterprises in Stoughton.
Okay.
And the kids love the caricaturist. They really do.
Yeah.
They do a tremendous job. And then, we have the event. It runs about 3 hours. And at the end of the day, the kids help pack up the
Yep.
thing, and that's the way we do it. And hopefully there's, and then I send a check to the Jimmy Fund,
Wow.
which is the higher the check, the better it is.
Right, and as you mentioned, 111,000 and counting.
Right, but again, they're not huge fundraisers. We've done 33 of them. So, each event is $3
to $4,000.
That's right, and sometimes they've been more, sometimes they haven't been more. So it really depends, I think, on the interest and the involvement of the student council, the kids, and the faculty advisor. I'm very lucky in Stoughton. We've got a tremendous Caitlin Conlon's the faculty advisor. Alexandra Soto is the president. She's the head of it from a student point of view.
Yep.
They're really into it. And if you're into it, which they are, the event's going to, I think, go very well.
Yeah, I think the idea too, in the amount, it's to keep chipping away at the stone.
That's right.
Is the way we like to look at it.
That's right.
You know, every day you build and you build and
Exactly.
you build. So
Exactly.
it doesn't have to be this giant like game winner of a
No.
amount. It's continually putting money in. And
Well, I'm hoping if we do 12 or 13 events a year, we can raise somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 a year, and I'm hoping to do these, for a long time, and and continue to build the event. So, when my time is up in this, hopefully we'll, not I, because I can't do it without help, will have been able to contribute a good amount of funds to Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber and pediatric cancer care.
Perhaps you could share like one story that you remember that is particularly poignant, where you've met a patient and then you say, "Oh, this person's stuck in my head."
I've met through the volunteer work that I do at Children's. I've met some. I mean, you go there, the 6th floor is the oncology floor, and there are a number of us that go, and meeting some of these kids, they're the most resilient people in the world. Their parents are resilient.
The parents struggle. I mean, that's a hard thing. I mean,
you get that news.
I get mad when I get a cut on my knee or something.
There you go. And I'm the same way. But you get that kind of news as a parent, and you don't know what to do. And it's, I can imagine the struggle that it is. But I met so many wonderful kids. I met a kid, he had sarcoma. And I had met him the first night he was at Children's, and he had surgery, and I met his mother. Her mother was a single mother. So I met her, and he was there for a number of months, and he had a number of surgeries. And then he left. I hadn't seen him for 2 years, and then I was at Children's for something, and remember, these kids lose their hair, during the chemo and all that type of thing. And he was 14 or 15 years old, good-looking boy, and I'm at Children's one day, I see this kid walking down the hall who I did not know. His mother recognized me. That was the kid. Well, what happened was his hair had grown back, and he was absolutely fine.
Wow.
And you see that type of thing. Another time, I met a kid who had lost his hair from New Hampshire, and got friendly with him and his parents. He actually taught me to play some video game, which he absolutely destroyed me, which wasn't a surprise. But he was in, and his mother was there, and his father was there for a while. So he leaves again. He was doing well, and then I saw him outside of Fenway Park one day. He had bright red hair. I had no idea he had red hair, and it was just great to see him. But the most important thing, the pediatric cancer rate, say 30, 40 years ago, the cure rate was about 50%. Now it's about 80%. Okay, so it's, now not all cancers are the same, some are better than others, but the overall pediatric cure rate for cancer has gone up considerably, and that's why this fundraising is so important, because again, they're doing a lot of different targeted therapies, there are different ways to attack tumors rather than just your standard chemo. They can do chemo more specific, designed to the type of cancer that you have, and the government only gives about 75% of the fundraising that's needed for these things. So these outside fundraisers, overall, play a very, very important part in hopefully the cure rate going up.
So tell me the improvements you've made since you did the very first one. I mean, what has changed, and how did you learn from the doing?
I think one thing I did was I got the first year. I didn't know how long it was going to take to do the event, what it was going to, the setup, all that sort of thing. So we got there, I think, at 7:45 in the morning, or for a 12 o'clock event, and we stood around for about 4 hours after it was set up. Okay. So the kids were ready to go home before the event started.
Right.
And then we also ran the event, I think, too long. We ran it for years. We ran it 4 hours instead of 3 hours, which was again too long. So we've learned to sort of simplify the event, maybe modify it a bit. And we generally have the same type of activities that we have.
Yes.
And what we always trying to do is, for instance, coming here today, is we need to advertise the event, get it out in the public. That's the hardest thing to do, is make sure that people know about it. Because if they know about it and come, they enjoy it. But if they don't know about it,
Well, we're going to see if we can run this a few times.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I'm going to jump to announcements right now.
Go right ahead.
And in the meantime, I want you to, when I come back, we should have just enough time to come back. I want to hear your 3 hopes for this event, something like we want to get a hold of some professional golfer that will come in and endorse it, or
there you go.
Something, but I want to come back to you. So we're going to jump over to announcements right now, and thank you for watching.
Hi, it's Gary LaPierre, and the crew wants to thank Maxie's Delicatessen. That's at 117 Sharon Street in Stoughton. They're 781-341-1662. American Cancer Society, yes, they're looking for volunteers. Drive cancer patients to and from their treatments. 1-800-ACS-6662, or just go to www.cancer.org. Ilse Mark's Food Pantry in St. Anthony's Free Market, 2 Park Avenue in Stoughton. For more information, call Christine Gallagher. That's at 781-341-0611 or 781-341-0549. Meals on Wheels. Just ask for Jessica. You'll find her at 781-344-8882, extension 2. Stoughton Penny Saver. Our business is advertising your business, they tell us. 27 Rose Glen Street, Stoughton, 781-344-4833. Community Forum showtimes in Stoughton. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's on Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. All comments and suggestions welcome. Contact us at communityforum1@yahoo.com. Samaritans, they're at 41 West Street on the 4th floor in Boston, 02111. Their phone number is 617-536-2460, 24-hour helplines for Samaritans, and the number is 877-870-HOPE. That's 877-870-4673. Samaritans, you can find them at 800-252-TEEN. That's 252-8336. Or find them online at SamaritansHope.org.
So we're back here in studio. Here we are. We're right back here in studio, and I'm with Mark Levine. And they'd like us to announce before a rock and roast of Roy Cohen. So Roy is our executive producer. He's a Stoughtonite for many of these decades beyond, and there's a lot of people that have got a lot to say about Roy. So we're going to, I'm going to have to see if we can get them to put the date up so I can tell you about the date of that roast. But before I do that, I don't know if I can read that. No?
Saturday, November 4th, 7 p.m.
Rescued by Mark Levine.
VFW Post, Washington Street.
Yes, Mark. Thank you so
There you go.
much. Mark's eyesight is far better than mine, obviously. But we're here with, are there any more announcements back there? No, there aren't. Okay. So we're back here with Mark Levine, and I've asked Mark to say, let's put some stuff out in the universe here to help this wonderful Putting for Patients program that he's put together with the help of local youth and high schools. And I'm thinking if we could get like a Patriots player like Nate Solder or Gordon Hayward, who just got injured for the Celtics, maybe he have a little more time on his hands. Maybe we can get somebody. So if you can think of any connection out there that you all could maybe send to Mark, and could we, let me talk to Roy out back. Roy, can you put the connection or the contact info back up so that we can get that? So Putting for Patients is Saturday, October 28th, 12 noon to 3 at the O'Donnell Middle School. $10 is it per person?
$10 per person.
$10 per person includes all the activities, face painting, etc. And if you want to get a hold of Mark, 617-413-6416, or putting, the number 4, patients @gmail.com. And maybe you have a connection, somebody that you could help Mark bring into this wonderful program, and he could have that person come in on a Saturday, and that's just a tremendous draw. He's hoping to get a couple hundred people at every event, and let's see if we can help Mark do that. So Mark, if I gave you this wish list of 3 things that you'd like to have, What would you like to see this program evolve to so you can help more pediatric patients?
Well, certainly what your first suggestion of getting a local athlete would be great. I've always thought of it and don't quite know how to go about it because, you know, these these athletes have plenty of, you know, I see them a lot. Oh, I don't see them, but I know they go to the Dana-Farber a lot, you know, to volunteer.
They help. They do
Absolutely.
help a lot, yeah.
One thing, you know, I'm from Stoughton, and I've lived here since 1989, so this particular event is really important to me. And I'd love to see a really good crowd. 200 people would be fantastic. And you know, it's just a really fun day. I mean, it's, you know, for $10 you can, you know, you can play 18 holes of golf, and it's a nice course. Putting contest is a prize for that. We'll have probably at least 10 opportunity drawing items. We'll have characterists there for 3 hours. We'll have food. We'll have face painting. And there'll be prizes for the winners. So for $10, it's a you know, I think a really good way to spend your money, and you're contributing to what I consider to be as important a cause as there is, helping kids with as I said before, an illness that they do not deserve and did not want. And,
well, I want to thank you, Mark, and I'm going to thank you in a special way. All right, I'm going to put a challenge out there. I'm going to come to the event, and I'm going to score what my score is. And anyone who beats me, I'm going to put $2. Anyone who beats my score, I'm going to give you $2 for their score.
Well,
all right?
that sounds
so
great.
there's just a challenge out there. For those of you who think I stink at golf, we're going to find out that I'm also cheap. So I don't know how much money's going to go forward. So, but you're going to have to work hard to beat me. So that's my challenge out there to the universe. Let's hope that you can get a couple hundred people that want to beat me. But I'm going to get there, and I'm going to run the course. Probably, what is it, 18 holes?
18 holes.
Yeah, I'll probably do it in a 25 maybe or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. You'll be 17 holes in one, and the rest will be twos.
So thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve Kelly. I've been helped in the background by Mike Hammond, Dave Young, Jeff Pickett, Roy Cohen, Leo McGowan, and also you. And thank you for watching our show. And thanks to Mark Levine.